I have like this strong purpose when it comes to movies that I want to create what I call like the middle class movie, you know, which will be like an author movie, like a movie that has like a lot of meanings inside, that has deepness, consistency, and at the same time a movie that can speak to the audience, you know. And the orchestra class was like having those two attributes. I could do like a very humanist movie, a very social movie, and at the same time I could do a movie that can like connect with people because the theme of the movie is so universal, you know. It's about like getting out of like his social condition. It's about like music. It's about like this like kind of journey that we find in Billy Elliot, The Virtuose, or like in The Good Will Hunting, like this kind of path of someone that starts very low and try to go very far, you know. And all those like small things could do this middle like class movie, you know, that will be able to reunite different people in the same auditorium. I had like this thing, an orchestra class had that. And also because I start to follow kids doing this kind of program because the movie is inspired by true events, you know, something that is happening. And I saw those kids with the violin and I was really moved to see them because usually they don't have access to culture.
Of course.
Usually they are like, you know, living in suburban area where there is like, with parents for most of them that don't really speak French, with a very like poor like surrounding. And I was like, okay, violin is so noble. Finding this instrument there.
Yes.
It's very cinematographical, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, les mains, enfin, tu t'assois.
Monsieur Simon Daoud, votre professeur de violon.
Bonjour. Est-ce que vous connaissez la musique classique?
Wolfgang Amadeus Beethoven, il a fait le truc là. Tan, 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 tan. Céline Dion.
I was looking to do a movie that was like some kind of an urban fairy tale, you know. So I needed to find kids that were very like born actor, you know, that had like very strong personality, something that can make them into also a character when you put them in front of the camera. So we saw about like not like between 600 and 800 kids that have been cast all over like Paris and the suburbs of Paris, you know, and we found our like 14 kids. Those kids that were like making a very like harmonious group in front of the camera to create this class, you know.
Directing the kids, I think that it's not so easy normally. So how was your experience with the kids to direct them or?
No, we never let them free first. Because I think when you let kids free, it's a mistake that leads us to like something very incoherent, you know. What I do is I created a protocol of work for kids, a very specific protocol. So there is the screenplay. I put them with someone else than me, someone that will just make them like learn their lines really well, you know. And when they come on set, I destroy everything they learned. And I rebuild the scene with what I want to do. Like that when they are with me, it's again something new. We don't bore them, we don't make them mechanical, because the big like trick with kids is when they start to know something really well, it becomes like mechanic, you know, they just like throw the text and it's done, and they don't know what to do. But I wanted them to live situations. So the text was more like to like organize their mind to understand their character, to understand what I'm talking to them about, you know, more than what the scene is about. What the scene is about happens on set. When we are together, I start to find this like middle ground between what I want to do and how they want to express it. And it's like that I'm building slowly the scenes with them.
So now the kids, they can play a little?
Some of them can. Some of them can, and some of them, they shouldn't touch a violin anymore.
Okay. Okay. So working with the kids on the stage, did you have any stories?
I remember precisely their love stories between them.
Oh, really?
Yes, there's like a kid falling in love with the girl, but another kid is falling in love with the same girl. So they start to talk about, no, she's for me, no, and she's like, I don't want any of you, but why you don't want any of us? Like those kind of things I know about them, and those kind of like situation inspired a lot my work with them, because I was trying to nourish the character with their own stories. You know, like the pizza, when they go eat a pizza at the end of the movie, there's a lot of things that I took like during like the shooting and I wrote on the side, because I know these things are true about them. So I was like, okay, this thing is true, and I start to rewrite the scene to bring like the reality also inside the fiction.
Comment vous avez atterri ici?
Comment ça?
Moi, avant tout, je veux m'assurer que vous resterez bien avec les enfants jusqu'au concert. On ne peut pas se permettre de changer de prof. Hein.
Allez, on se remet en place. De manière un peu plus pacifique, s'il vous plaît. Non, mais ils sont incapables de se concentrer pendant 30 secondes. Stop, 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 s'il vous plaît. S'ils n'ont pas envie d'apprendre, on va pas les forcer.
Qu'est-ce que tu fais là?
J'ai juste vu voir le violon.
Et pourquoi ça t'intéresse au violon?
Oui.
And except for the parents, there is Simon, the violin teacher. So how did you cast him, and what was your expectation from him for this film?
I met Kad Merad in a coffee one afternoon. Kad is like a very big actor in France, and he was like, Rachid, I want to do this movie. So I was like, but you know, I don't know yet. I don't know for the moment. You know, I was like, it's the screenplay is for me, because I know I can do it. And it was very surprising to meet like such a big actor with like so much like desire for cinema, because I was talking with 2 other big actors in France, and we were still, you know, on process. And this guy came and he was like having this big desire inside himself, and it really like it touched me, because Kad Merad comes more from a comedy background, and all of a sudden he saw in the movie for him the possibility to play something that is on the opposite of what he usually does, you know. And I told him, okay, if we work together, you need to learn all those like music, like all those violin like titles. And he was like, it's impossible, we cannot do that. It's like, but if you want to do the movie, you have to do it. And he started to work really hard, and seriously surprised me, because he worked so hard that he was able to do way more than what we were expecting from him, you know.
So for you, as this is your first long feature film, you know, you know well the actors' work. So for this film, long feature film, first time, what did you think about directing?
I think the main difference is when I started this, like in the movie like industry, I was like 16, and when I met Abdelkeshish, it was to be a trainee, not an actor. I say I want to meet Abdel, I say I want to be a director, and I was like, I want to be a director, so can you take me as a trainee? And Abdel looked at me and said, if you want to become a good director, you need at least to understand actors. So play in the melody. So I was like, okay. So I start to play in the Game of Love and Chance, L'Esquive. And I was like, okay, so you want me to act? He was like, yes, it's like that you can become a good director, by understanding actors. So I start like this career of actor pretty much against my will, you know? It was like, okay, if I have to go through that, I do it. And with the small money I earned on this movie, I did my first short movie that was 35 minutes for TV. This movie has been bought by TV and everything. And I understood what it meant at this time. It meant that actors are like such a different material from all the rest in the movie. They are the main thing, and they are all different. You cannot talk to Kad Merad the same way you talk to Samir Ghesmi. They have a very different way to approach their work, you know. Some actors are very instinctive, you know, it's about instinct, it's about like feeling the things. Some actors are more intellectual, you know, they are thinking the situation. And some actors are even like not acting, they just do things and it's right. So I had to find this balance, and thanks to Abdel and what I learned from him, and also thanks a lot to Arnaud Desplechin, that is like my big brother, a mentor to me. because he taught me my work, you know. Thanks to them, I understood a lot about actors.
As you tell about your heart, so I think that you like a lot seeing films, right?
I love movies.
Yeah, yeah.
It's really like like the passion I have for cinema started very early on. I was 12 when I started to see movies from Samuel Fuller and the movies from Wellman. You know, all those like things like that built my movie culture. Like Ozu has been a very important like influence. Even though my movies are very far from the people I admire, it has built up a lot of things about like cinematographical grammar, what the shot means, how to organize it, how to organize light, and how to make your frame alive. You know, because we are in Busan, we can talk about also the love that I have for Korean movies. When I discovered like Shin Song-ok movies, you know, his story and all he went through in Korea,
Yeah.
I can tell that this man really, just his life is like
Yeah, very
means
special. Yeah, yeah.
means your like country story
Yeah.
or your situation, you know, the way he has fought for his freedom as an artist,
Yes, yes.
the way he has found himself in North Korea as like in jail pretty much and forced to do movies, or when he went to US, or when he came back and he did Vanished here. All these things like show that Korea is really like a land of cinema. And for me, it's like I'm so delighted to be here for this reason.
Except for Shin Sang-ok, do you have any Korean directors or actors that you like?
I like also Park Chan-wook movies.
Park Chan-wook.
Yes, because Park Chan-wook to me is like one of the like I never saw like a director that is so free about what is.
free.
Yes, he has a freedom as an artist. You can tell he takes his movies and he shaped them in a way that is his way. This is like there is a freedom. When I saw The Handmaiden.
Agashi, yes.
Thank you. I don't know.
Agashi.
I just know the title in French and English.
Yeah.
And I remember like some of friends like, oh, do you know it's not that good, or it's very good, or it's like this or it's like that. But the movie never let anyone like cold. There's people that are very passionate about it. There's some people that don't really like it, but they admit that there is a lot of things that are good about it.
Yeah.
And me, I have been like really taken by the story. You know, I have like, wow, he created a game. He created a game that is torturous through images, and beautiful images.
So, this evening you will have the Asian premiere of Orchestra Class. So, what is your expectation from the Korean public?
What I like about like the fact that we are screening the movie in Busan International Film Festival is the fact that I am here in the biggest festival, like movie festival in Asia. So I can tell you I'm super excited to share like the movie in this kind of like circumstances, you know. And at the same time, I know like from a country to another, from a culture to another,
Yes.
a movie is like felt in very different ways. You know, I remember when I saw The Last Train to Busan in France. For us, it's like a B movie, you know. It's like a horror B movie. So some people are laughing, having fun about it because it's very like well made, and it was like that. And I had the chance to see the movie again when I was in Taiwan, you know, because I went there for work. So and people were crying, like very moved, like oh my God, she lost her dad and everything, and people were like so like very touched. And at this moment, I saw that both audience loved the movie a lot, but for so many different reasons, and their interpretation of the movie was so different.
So different.
And what I'm expecting tonight is to discover another way for people to experience my movie. And I'm very excited to see what's going to be the outcome of it.
Okay.
J'ai une proposition pour partir en tournée pendant 3 mois.
Et tu t'es engagé à les emmener à la Philharmonie, tu te souviens de ça?
J'ai pas pris ma décision encore. Il est doué, Arnold. Il est fait pour la musique.
Stop, stop, stop. Toi, tu vas trop sur la touche.
Il faut tout donner et rendre vos parents fiers de vous. 1, 2, 3, 4, oui.
Ça s'est bien passé, ton concert?
Tu sais, en ce moment, je travaille avec des gamins. Je suis beaucoup plus heureux avec eux. Je sais que vous en êtes capables. Je compte sur vous, d'accord?
I want to tell you guys, I hope you are going to open your heart and see this movie very simply, because it really has been made for the audience and for you to have like a nice time in the auditorium. So I wish you a good movie and a pleasant time. Thank you very much.